Hello Virgo, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead, Virgo. How are ya? Welcome to the next week. Look, next week is going to be another eclipse. How are you doing in these energies, by the way? We do have the partial lunar eclipse, which is taking place next Saturday, I believe, on the 29th. And it is going to be in Aries, so these energies, right? Let's find out what's going on. I've got some oracles here. We are going to have the overall energy from the oracles, and then we're going to check out the tarot to get some details about what's happening in the week ahead, because I'm always reading for the week ahead. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. This is for you, Virgo. Thanks for showing up, if you always do. If you are somebody who is new, welcome. I hope you'll stay. There is a subscription button down in the bottom right-hand corner if you should choose to join this beautiful 10 Cups tribe. Let's find out what is going on, for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Okay, fine. We've got time to go. Virgo, I always see this as actually your card, time to go, only because it's card number 45, which is a 9. I always see this as your card. Virgo, I feel like it's time for you to head for the door. And what I mean by that is I feel like you have outlast this last cycle. I think, this person is sort of, the dress is disappearing as they're running for the door. The door is in the background, right? Card number 45, time to go. It does feel like it is time for you to go, to head for the door. I feel like you're done with this cycle, is what I feel. It's time. I feel like you've learned everything that you need to learn. You've come to some sort of wisdom about the cycle. Whatever you've learned in this cycle, it's time for you to leave behind now. We've got round and round. Yeah, I think if you stay in the old vibration or the old cycle, it feels like it just ends up repeating itself. That happens too. If I get into a reading that's too long and I use too many cards, things will just start repeating themselves. It's not necessarily good, right? It just keeps going round and round. So I feel like it's time for you to get off the merry-go-round. I feel like the universe is trying to give you an out, which is the door here. We have card number 25, and 25 is a 7. For me, 7s are always about heaven. And we have somebody that's racing for the door. It's time to get the heck out of that cycle. I don't think you need it anymore. Sometimes we stay in the same cycles because we're too uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable for us to move to the next place. Whether that is spiritually, mentally, physically. Tell me more about Virgo, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo. We've got transformation. You use the power of love to move through illusions and shift into awareness. That's what it is. I feel like this last full moon eclipse that was in your sign, I feel like that's what happened. I feel like you transformed somehow last Friday. And it might be something that you were leading up to slowly. Maybe you had all the analytics and all the data, but you just hadn't taken the action yet. I feel like you're in some sort of transformation, that you're in some sort of transition. And it says here that you use the power of love to move through illusions and shift into awareness. Look, it's sort of like she looks like she's fading away. It's like the place where she was is an illusion. I say she, but I mean, it could be a man. Who knows, right? Feminine or masculine. It feels like there is a transformation that's taking place here, and it's time for you to go to the next cycle. Got cause and effect. It says you are aware that the love you create in your thoughts is an agent of change, and that the foundation of your results. You are aware that the love you create in your thoughts is an agent for change and the foundation of your results. So whatever you think about is cause, and the effect is what happens afterward. So you are causing this transformation to happen, because I feel like you're telling the universe, I'm done with the cycle. I think I've learned all that I can learn here. I don't need to be here anymore. All right. Drop one more card. This is a fairy deck. A deck I haven't used in a very long time. I got a long time ago and forgot I had it. So I'm digging out a couple of the decks, or a few of the decks that I have here that I haven't used in quite some time. Tell me about Virgo. Tell me about Virgo, please. We have temptation. It says you were in denial about an unhealthy habit. Perhaps, and I'm laughing because that's sort of what we've been talking about, right? It's like you've already figured it out. You've already figured out the puzzle, and now the puzzle sits on the table in the dining room forever. Just because you don't want to pull it up, put it back in the box, and open a different puzzle. That's what it feels like here. So perhaps, says, you are in denial about an unhealthy habit, perhaps one that makes you feel guilty. This fairy says you have the power to overcome temptation, whatever its guise. So I want to say that maybe your temptation is to stay in the same cycle, because it might be a comfort zone for you at this point. It might be a place where you're not interested in leaving there, because why fix it if it's not broken? But I feel like that you have the temptation is to keep you locked in this old cycle here, whereas a place of stagnancy, I believe. It says ask for help. Angels are celestial beings who protect everyone, and the fairies say now is time for you to ask for angelic assistance. So if you need help, ask your guides, ask your guides, ask your deity, whoever your source is, right? One more card, and then we will get to the tarot. Tell me about Virgo. Tell me about Virgo. We've got evaluation. I think that's what's going on here. It feels like next week is going to be a week of evaluation. And I think as we move forward to the next eclipse, I feel like it's you are going to be leaving places. You're going to be making decisions, eclipsing things from your life in the daylight. Like I feel like you see it all, and in the daylight, you're not even going to back away slowly. You're just going to say, you know what? I see that for what it is. I'm out. I'm not in for that anymore. So evaluation says feed out what doesn't serve you, reevaluate the situation. So I think next week is a time of transformation where you're looking at the temptation of staying in an old cycle and you're reevaluating. Do I really need to move forward? Should I really move forward from here? If you don't, though, I feel like the cause and effect for you is that you keep going round and round and round. We have retreat. It says time spent alone, reflection on the past, current situations. Hermit energy. It does feel like that. It feels like Virgo energy. All right, let's take a look at some tarot. Tell me about Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo, please. Tell me about Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. For the week ahead, please. Okay, they're all falling out. Let's find out what's here. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Three of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the Death card. Very interesting. So we've got transformation here twice. I think you're making the cut. I think that's what it is. You might be waiting for the sun to come out. You might be waiting for more energy to show up, to give you like more information, I want to say. And we've got the Nine of Pentacles. So we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So it almost feels like a little bit of a stall, I want to say. We do have the Queen of Wands, and I think that the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords are both here. Because these two queens are the ones who are sort of fearless, right? And I don't mean to say that the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles have fear, but I feel like these are the ones that are brutally honest, fearless. I know what I'm doing. I know what the consequences are. I read the rules before I broke them. What's that song? Why is that going on? It's what's the name of that song? Inner Ninja. That's what that is. I knew the rules before I broke them. I broke the chains before they choked me out. I think that's what's going on here. You're pulling out your inner ninja is what you're doing. I sort of see that in this energy of the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands. This is feminine or masculine energy. Feminine leaning, but also masculine energy is present here. I really feel like somebody here is I read the rules before I broke them. I know what I'm doing. Don't tell me what I'm doing. I've gone over the analytics. I've gone over everything backwards, forwards, up and down, through, backwards. Like, you know what you're doing. No one has to tell you what you're doing. I feel like what you're waiting for, because this does feel like a little bit of hesitation, the Eight of Wands in the reverse, feels like you're not quite ready to move yet. You want it to be your own decision before you go. But I feel like the Three of Pentacles tells me, I feel like that you've already started to build a foundation. toward whatever it is that you're working toward here. It feels like it is some sort of a new path or some sort of an exciting new beginning or a new start, something that makes you feel excited. But I feel like you're going to have to burn down the house before you go. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like this person is, fading away. And I visualize it as Charlie's my guide, and he gives me my clairvoyancy. He's showing me like somebody running out of a tunnel, and the tunnel is collapsing behind them. So it's like you're getting out just in time, because if you were to stay, it would be a repetition. You'd be going around and around, and I don't think you'd be happy there. There would be no growth there. But I feel like when you decide to end some things, I feel like with the eclipse energy coming up, you're doing it in the light, because it's a partial eclipse of the sun, right? So I feel like I feel like you're doing it out in the daylight. You're no longer worried about what people think of you, because the Queen of Swords is here. You don't care. The Queen of Wands is here. These two sisters here, they don't really care what other people think about them. This one here is somebody who's going to be truthful and honest. Look, here's the way it is. I'm just going to lay it out for you. And the Death card tells me that the reason that you end up being in the Nine of Pentacles is because you are transforming. So there is something here that's telling me that there is a temptation for you to stay in an old cycle, but I don't think you're going to do that. I think that it's time for you to move forward. And I think you've already been building those, you've already been building the foundation in your mind about what you're going to do and how you're going to move forward and how you're going to leave this cycle. Tell me about this Three of Pentacles, please. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Lovers. And we have the Eight of Wands in the reverse shows up again. The reason that you're hesitating, because this is a choice of a lifetime, is what it is. It's going to change your life. And you've worked really hard on this, or you've worked really hard on yourself, and you've gone, like, you know what you know that all the analytics are in place, and it's time now for you to take action with the Queen of Wands. And that's the hard part, because you're going to have to be honest with a bunch of people around you. Look, I'm leaving this vibration and you can't come with me, or they're going to choose not to come with you. That means you're going to have to leave people behind in order to go forward to the future, which is really exciting transformation. And I feel like it's you moving forward alone is what is going to transform you into the Nine of Pentacles here. Tell me about the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords, please. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Emperor in the reverse. Oof. And then we have the King of Pentacles. You know what? I really do feel like you've waited long enough. I almost feel like, Virgo, that you've been keeping yourself in an old cycle, going round and round, hoping and wishing, waiting that other people, hoping that their third eyes would come open, right? You can see the person in the center. You can see the circle is round, the third eye. But quite honestly, I really do feel like this round and round has been a never-ending story for you. It feels like in that cycle, you're not allowed to be flexible. You're not allowed to see things under the sun, right? Card 19 is here. Card 37 tells me that there's a new beginning here. And every time before this, when you headed for the door, you always found a reason to stay. And it might be because of a relationship. It might be because of a friendship. But I really think that this time you're being really brutally honest. The Emperor's in the reverse. When the Emperor is in the reverse, I really can't care what you think about what I'm about to do next. Virgo, I think you need to do whatever is best for you. And so the King of Pentacles is here. Look, it's not like you're ever going to abandon the people that you support the most. Your family, if you're married, or if you live with a family, you're not going to abandon those people. But I think what you're abandoning is what other people think of you. I don't think you care. I think that where you're going is a transformational place. I feel like part of you has to die in order for part of you to live. It's cause and effect, right? So I feel like this is decisions that you're making. Whether you are single or whether you are in a relationship doesn't matter to me, but it feels like you're going to have to be brutal with your cuts. The Emperor is somebody, when they're in the reverse, I don't really care. This is how it goes down. This is the way it's got to be, and I don't care who likes it and who doesn't. And I think that it's taken you a long time to get here, but I feel like you're going to try and do it in the most grounded, solid, slow-moving way as possible. Tell me what this exciting transformation is here. because awareness is right here. You're in this place of awareness here, and the star is here too. Oh, and judgment. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So it tells me here that with the judgment energy, that you know that you're going to have to let go of some things. And in order for you to be the star, so look, maybe I'm talking about a job. Maybe you know that you're going to have to leave the place that you are in order to change your trajectory, because you've been going round and round in this place for a really long time. And so you shifted into some sort of an awareness here, and now that you can see it all under the sun and you're evaluating it all, I feel like you're going to make your cuts in the daylight and not in the dark. I feel like where everybody can see them. And so transformation is here, and you've realized that you are the star. It feels like you're the best employee, or you're the one who has all the information. You're the subject matter expert, right? Which is the Knight of Pentacles. You're the practical one. You're the one that has all the knowledge. The reason you move slow is because you know the analytics. Like, it feels like that sort of energy, Virgo. And I feel like this decision that you're about to make here is possibly, for some of you, could be one in love or about romance. You could be leaving an old relationship to move forward. And if the person who you're in the relationship with doesn't want to move forward with you, this might cause a great divide. When you two end up in two different vibrations. It's happened to me. 21-year marriage ended up ending because I grew and the partner did not. And so we ended up having this big divide that we couldn't seem to bring back together again. So tell me about the Nine of Pentacles, because I feel like if you are in a relationship, that some of you, I'm not telling you your relationship's failing, I'm telling you that you already know this is going on. You already know that there's angst or tension in your relationship. If you decide to move forward into some new vibration, you know that you're not going to be taking people with you. There's the Tower, right? You're in a comfort zone, and the Tower's showing up to get you out of your comfort zone here. We've got the Queen of Cups. Maybe I'll just have to put my water back into the ocean, right? I feel like it makes you really emotional. I feel like you're going to do this in the most compassionate way possible, but I don't think you give a shit, honestly, Virgo. I don't think you do. I think you're like, you know what? You're with me, or you're not. You're on the bus, or you're under it, because I need to move. I need to move. I've got things that are waiting for me. The universe is calling me. My God is calling me to take another path, and I've got to do that. I need the justice here, and if you can't come with me, then I've got to go. Tell me what the outcome is for Virgo here. This is all happening within your evaluation of your transformation. I think next week is going to be a pretty tense week for you. Tell me about Virgo and the outcome, please. We've got the Empress. There you are. You are moving to a different vibration, friend. That's what it is. We've got these two queens here, but I feel like you are moving into this Empress energy, whether you're feminine or masculine, right? Taurus is feminine, Libra is masculine. And so whether you are feminine or masculine, I feel like you're anteing up here. So I feel like you no longer need external validation. You're like, I don't need you to tell me that what I'm doing is right. I know that what I'm doing is right, because my validation comes internally. I think this is going to be a really big surprise for everybody around you. I feel like they're going to be surprised when they're dealing with the Empress, somebody who's very solid, balanced, but also doesn't give a shit. I got to do what's best for me. I can't do what's best for you. I feel like people are feeling like you are I think people are going to be surprised. Some people that you end up maybe just not connecting with again or leaving behind. And I feel like with the Seven of Swords, it feels like they're going to feel like you have, that you lied to them. So you really didn't love me, or you really weren't my friend, or you're moving. What do you mean you're moving? You must not be my son. You must not be my daughter. That's not what my child would do to me. Not a child that loved me. Like, I feel like people are going to try and make you feel a little bit guilty because they feel betrayed by you. They feel that you're betraying them but the thing is that, in this case, I'm seeing that this person has a lot of information, and it's almost like you have information that they don't have, that they're not willing to look at. One last card. The Moon energy. And I don't think you see it coming, friend. I feel like there's some big changes that are coming up for you next week, but you're going to be the cause of all of those changes, and then you're going to have to deal with the fallout or the effects. Some of you aren't going to move. Some of you aren't ready. It's not like you won't have another chance to move into the next vibration. Some of you will keep going round and round in the old vibration because you don't want to transform. You don't want anything to change, and that's okay. I think that some of you are going to be pushed out of it, though. Some of you are going to be pushed out. When the tower shows up, you know, when the tower shows up and all the illusion falls to the ground, you don't have a choice but go, because there's nothing left there for you. So I think that some of you are making for the door and you're going to go in your own free will, and some of you are going to go kicking and screaming, but going nonetheless, because you can't defy the tower energy. All right, we've got the Magician. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. You've worked really hard on getting your tools, getting your resources, getting stable in your life. And I feel like you know that some people are just going to end up essentially being a memory. We have the Ten of Swords and the Six of Cups. You're going to have to release some people. And I kept talking about under the sun. There it is. The sun is there. You're going to be making all these cuts in the sunlight. Yep. You're not going to be making them quietly. You're going to be doing it in their face. Virgo, I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much. It seems like a bossed up energy, but it sort of scares me just a little. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I appreciate you. I'm going to be back because I'm always back. I hope you will be too. Bye-bye.